WK Dad again, another deck profile. You guys like the deck profiles with the tutorial following, so I guess I'm going to do it again. This is going to be actually the deck I'm going to be running for regionals. And the only reason why I'm showing it now is I need some help with the side deck. And I know there's a lot of great players out there who watch my channel. And I would love to get some feedback on what you guys feel that I should side for this deck. So I'm going to show you the list, and just comment down below in the comment section about possible side deck cards, questions about the deck, and then I'll answer them as they pop up, and hopefully with the help of everybody I can have a solid performing deck. Alright, so it's going to be my Weenie Warrior Chaos. A lot of people saw me playing on DN past week or so, and so I'm going to let you guys check it out. 3 Junk Synchron, 3 Junk Servant, Exile Force, Blackluster Soldier, 3 Effect Veiler. These are going to be tour guides, and this is one of the problems I'm having, and I'll get to that later. Sangin, 2 Thunder King Gores, 2 Pot of Duality, 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, Pot of Avarice, Reinforcement of the Army, Book of Moon, Mind Control, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, 2 Torrential, Bottomless Trap Hole, Dimensional Prison, Mirror Force, and Compulsory Evac, 2 Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment, Fiendish Chain, and Starlight Road. The extra deck, Leviair, Wind Up Zenmaines, X-Saber Invoker, Giga Brilliant, Acid Golem, Blade Armor Ninja, Maestroke, number 39, and Chaos number 39, Utopia Ray. Then we have Catastor, Brionac, Black Rose, Scrap Dragon, Stardust, and Void Ogre Dragon. So the problems I'm having real quick. When you guys watch me playing on DN, I use junk forwards. And the problem with that was depleting my hand really fast. And now with the priority ruling changes gone, people are going to be running all kind of weird stuff. And I just don't want to get hit that hard. And then also with that build, Maxi totally bones me over. So now if they Maxi my tour guide, I just bring out Sangin and then just go off the following turn. I decided to throw Thunder Kings in here. I was running junk defenders, but I needed the control. I needed a normal summonable monster that I could beat with and control a little bit with. Didn't do any good to Effect Veiler a Dragonfly or a Centipede and then not have anything really that I wanted to summon and run it over with. And Thunder King takes care of that. Also, if I go first in the hero matchup, they have to open with the Alias to clear it off the board. So I like that. Exile Force and these 3 guys, that's the whole purpose of the deck. I got these X-Saber Invokers. I'm just running 1 now. I was running 2. But the way I changed my deck around, I dropped some of the other warriors I was running. I was running a Chiron, the Mage, ditch a spell, blow up a spell or trap, and some other interesting cards. But I just wanted to thin the deck down, streamline the deck, and make it more efficient. So I just run the 1 Invoker now. Also, I didn't have too much to do once I got my warrior out. What else am I going to do? So Exile Force is the best one for that because he doesn't care how he hits the field. Distribute them off and hit something. So hopefully, if they had the Veiler, they would have Veilered the Invoker and not the Exile Force I bring off of it. Some other things. I was running tuning in the original build, but as you can see, my monster count is kind of slim, and I hated milling. Avarice, when I go off or I set up on a big play, I fill my grave up pretty fast. So that's why that's in there. Also, there was just no room for tuning anymore since I threw in the dualities for more consistency. I can see my cards set up and then go off on the next turn. I decided to run 1 each of Bottomless, Deep Prison, and Compulsory Evac, and Fiendish Chain, just because I wanted the utility. Bottomless is no good if you're staring down a monster already on the field. Deep Prison's no good if Deep Prison's no good if they summon a monster that's going to blow up shit before they attack anyway. And I didn't want to have a bunch of compulsives because I didn't want to bounce back their Inzektor or bounce back their Stratos or bounce back their Alias only for them to summon it again, you know. And just one Phoenix chain. I mean, I run triple effect Veiler, and it just seemed like additional Phoenix chains were overkill. As far as exceeds, one of the OTK conditions involves Blade Armor Ninja. I'll show that in the tutorial following. Then of course my other two rank 4 exceeds, and these are just standard necessary in my opinion. The standard 5 synchros, since I run tuners, and then Void Ogre Dragon. In the tutorial I'll show why he's so good. Alright, so stay tuned for the tutorial, and be prepared to leave some suggestions and comments. Alright, I'll show you guys a common scenario when I'm playing this deck. Okay, so say I'm going first. Remember, this is my proxy tour guide: Veiler, Darkhold, Junk Synchron, Bloodthirster Soldier, and Torrential Tribute. Many a times I've run into this situation. Opponent's one set, summon tour guide, trigger effect, activate effect, they Fiendish Chain. So okay, cool. So obviously I have to pass my turn. I set my Torrential Tribute. And what am I playing against? Some opponent drops Dragonfly. Activates effect. Obviously I'm going to Veiler the shit out of that thing. So my opponent sets in a card to their back row. I draw for my turn. Get the MST for my turn. Play my MST under face down. It's warning. Here I'm feeling pretty good because now I can go off an OTK. Summon Junk Synchron, get effect Veiler, overlay Synchron, and my tour guide for Invoker. Detach Junk Synchron for Junk Servant in defense mode, obviously, because that's Invoker's effect. And Servant and Veiler. Synchro for Catastor. Remove a light and dark. Veiler, Junk Synchron. Soldier swings for 2,000. It dies. Soldier swings for 3,000. 16, 22. Now there's some other variations on this kind of play. Alright, in this scenario my opponent has just played Solemn Warning. So they do whatever. I managed to clear their board. You know, it doesn't matter what my life is. Their life is at 6,000. Let's say I top deck Darkhold. They have no back row. So I clear their board. They're at 6,000. With these two cards, I can OTK them. Simple as, you know, granted they don't have the Veiler Gores, of course, but that's like any scenario. I mean, Veiler against Inzektors, and they try to go off with the Zectaliber, whatever. So, you know, Tour Guide gets Tour Guide or Sanguine, whatever I have left in deck. Overlay for Invoker. Detach Special Servant. Since I control a junk monster on the field, I can special summon Servant from my hand. Servant overlay for Blade Armor Ninja. Detach 16 and 22 and 22, so that's 6,000 damage right there. 44 and 16. So, you know, on a clear field, you can easily put 6,000 damage on the board with you know, just those two cards, and you know, at least one Earth Warrior left in your deck. So, you know, that's one of the scenarios that happens a lot, and I'll just keep showing you a couple more. Alright, in this scenario, you know, my opponent is sitting on the Shining, and I know you guys are sick of this scenario. You know, heroes, they always set their whole damn hand like they're playing Gravekeepers or some silly shit. And 99.9% of the time, if there's no alias in the grave, then almost all the cards are bluff except for one. And then there's maybe a Starlight Road or, you know, a Dark Bribe or something. But we're going to play our luck. So, you know, here's our hand. We'll blind MST. We'll target this one. Oh, we hit the warning. So now we know we can go off and, you know, the opponent's low on life, or, you know, they're top decking. All they have removed from play is a Thunder King and an alias. So we know that when the Shining dies, they're just going to get the Thunder. They're just going to get the alias, and then they'll have a new card, and it probably won't be Gemini Spark, you know, or even if it is, it doesn't matter. We cleared the Shining, and they're top decking, and we're not. So summon our tour guide. Get our tour guide saying it doesn't matter. Overlay. Get our trusty missing X-Saber Invoker. Detach Invoker. We're so happy that all of this is going through. No skill drain or anything like that. Get our Exile Force. Exile Force Tribute. Destroy Shining. They add the alias back to their hand. And now we can do one of their numbers. Plop our whole hand down. So now we have protection. Now it would suck if they had the Gemini Spark, you know, but we got the Bottomless, the Deep Prison, the Book of the Moon, whatever. They're top decking. So maybe they'll hit another Miracle Fusion or whatever. So we got the Bottomless for the Miracle Fusion, Book of Moon, you know, in case they don't have the Spark or the Deep Prison. Now we have options. All right, so I want to leave with the Wombo combos. I like to end these tutorials with Wombo combos. And this one involves these 6 cards, or really these 3 cards, and then any number of protection traps. So previously, in a previous turn, you know, let's say you effect Veilered something, you know, it's game 2 or whatever, and now your opponent's wary of the plays that you could make, so they're holding off on their Veiler plays because they know that your random junk synchron plays are not the plays that you got to worry about. It's that damn invoker that, you know, does the OTK or what have you. So you summon the junk synchron. They're not going to Veiler because they know that that's nothing. They're going to probably wait for a mind control if they didn't have a monster or something. If they had a monster, they're going to wait for the mind control. Or, you know, they didn't want to Veiler and then you mind control and then they have to play another card. So, you know, whenever I played someone game 2 or 3, they never Veiler the junk synchron. They always wait for the big play, which is the smart thing to do. I control a junk monster, special summon Servant from hand. And here you can play mind games with your opponent. You can synchro for Black Rose, blow the field. If they Veiler now, you know, which would be the smart thing to do so they don't lose their field presence or what have you. That's cool. Then you synchro again for Stardust. And then do a Gravekeeper / hero / 6 samurai move and set your hand with the Stardust in your pretty commanding position. Or let's say it's early game or mid game, you have complete control. Your opponent's top decking. You know, Stardust is a pretty good choice too, but you can put some serious damage on board with this play. With the Veiler, junk synchron here. Synchro for Cataster. You can swing for, you know, 35 here. Do some damage to your opponent. And now here it's still good to go into Stardust and set your protection, but that doesn't stop them from playing compulsory later on in the turn. That doesn't stop them from playing Pot of Duality or a Monster Reborn, you know, forcing you to burn your Solemn or your Solemn Warning on a Monster Reborn. So from here, you can go into Void Ogre Dragon. Set your hand. You have no cards in hand. His effect is now live. So, you know, it's pretty hot right here. So you have no cards in hand. He's basically protected from Book of Moon or whatever. You know, just kind of a budget Shein, if you will, a harder to use Shein, and I like him just for that. I mean, 3,000 attack, he beats down everything, or at least matches everything under skill drain that heroes can throw at you. 3,000 defense, so even if they book it, he's still a tough sumbitch to get past. And you can negate shit once per turn. So if you draw a monster or you draw a spell or trap, well, make sure you declare your phases. Standby, draw, standby, main phase, open game state. Now you have priority. I'm sorry, not priority, it's gone. But you have the right to make whatever move you want to first, and you chose to set the monster. Void Ogre is effect is live again for the turn. You can swing, and he doesn't have to afraid of deprison or mirror force or anything. So now they'd have to chain, deprison, then chain compulsory or something. But they burn 2 cards in your big beater, so pretty fair trade-off. All right, guys. So at this point, I want to know what are your sideboard suggestions? What are some cards that you feel are filler or extra, because the deck is kind of hefty. Well, not kind of hefty. It's 41 cards. I really want to cut some things. I really want to change some things around. I want to cut 1 card. You guys can rewind the video and check out exactly what was in the deck list. I really want to take this to regionals. I'm talking with somebody so that I can borrow their tour guides, because you guys all know I sold my first set and got another set, then sold my second set right before they announced the tour guide reprint. So I was not tight at all when that was announced. All right, Weenie Warrior Chaos, Dub K Dad, and I'm out.